My name's Kelly. I'm 33, and I never thought I'd end up in this place. Sitting alone in my tiny living room, feeling like the world's biggest fool. But here I am. I've got a glass of wine I'm barely sipping, and my phone's on the coffee table turned face down because I just don't want to look at it. I've been avoiding everyone's texts for days. I guess it's time to get this off my chest somehow, so here goes. I was diagnosed with herpes about 6 months ago. Even now, just saying it feels like I'm ripping off a bandage. It's such a stupidly small word for something that's turned my whole life upside down. The worst part is, it came completely out of left field. I'd been single for a while after a rough breakup. Took me ages to trust anyone enough to try dating again. Then I met Nico. We matched on a dating app. He was charming, passionate about his photography, and he had this warm laugh that made me feel safe somehow. Things moved fast. Not crazy fast, but faster than I normally go. After a handful of dates, I slept with him. I remember that night in his loft studio, the smell of paint, old wood, and the faint aroma of coffee. I thought it was something special. I really did. But about a month later, I started feeling this weird tingling, then itching, and when I saw the sores, my first thought was, this cannot be real. I just stood there in my bathroom, gripping the sink, staring at these painful little blisters like they were alien invaders. When the doctor said it was herpes, I swear I stopped breathing for a second. The room got super quiet, like all the city noise outside just vanished. She tried to reassure me, said it's common, that lots of people have it and don't even know, but all I could think was, I'm ruined. I know how dramatic that sounds, but that was my gut reaction. I'm ruined, I'm dirty, no one will ever want me again. I texted Nico, told him we needed to talk. He showed up at my door with a confused look on his face. When I told him what happened, he just said, I didn't know. Maybe he really didn't. He looked shocked, upset, but he also looked kind of stuck, like he didn't know what to say. I asked him to get tested, to let me know what happened. He said he would, but a few days later, he stopped replying to my texts. And then just like that, he ghosted me. We went from passionate kisses and late-night laughter to me sitting here alone, replaying every moment, wondering when it all went wrong. I tried talking to my older sister about it. She said something like, it's not a big deal, Kel. Tons of people have it. And I get she was trying to help, but I wanted to scream, it is a big deal. It's huge to me. My best friend Alexa tried to be supportive too. She brought over chocolate ice cream and a crappy romantic comedy to cheer me up. I appreciated it, but I knew even as we laughed at the dumb jokes on screen, neither of us knew what to say about this new reality I was stuck with. The first outbreak was so painful. Not just the sores themselves, which made me dread putting on underwear or even walking too much, but the humiliation. I felt like my body had betrayed me. I started thinking back to every warning I'd ever heard, every health class lecture, and I kept asking myself if I'd been careless. But we used protection. I was careful. I guess I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't know how easily this could happen, even when you think you're doing everything right. Dating now feels impossible. I mean, how do I even start? Every time I match with someone new on an app or meet someone cute at a friend's party, I have this voice in my head saying, you'll have to tell them eventually. And then what? I picture their face twisting in discomfort, or them saying something like, I'm not ready for that, and leaving. Just the thought makes me want to crawl under my blankets and never come out. I've tried reading online forums and support groups. Some people say it gets easier, that you learn to live with it, and you realize it's just a condition, like having cold sores, just in a place that's more taboo. But knowing that doesn't erase the shame I feel. It doesn't change that Nico disappeared on me when I needed him most. It doesn't fix the lump in my throat when I think about having that conversation with someone new. It's weird. My life is fine otherwise. I have a stable job, a decent apartment, friends who care about me. But this diagnosis is like a tiny anchor, dragging me down just enough to make everything heavier. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and just stare at the ceiling, wondering if I'll ever feel normal again. If I'll ever meet someone who's okay with this, who won't look at me like I'm damaged goods. I keep telling myself to give it time, that people do find love, acceptance, and happiness after this. That I'm not the only one feeling this way, but right now it still hurts. Right now I feel raw and abandoned, and like I'm carrying this secret that I'm too scared to share. So that's it, I guess. I wish I had some uplifting note to end on, but I don't. I'm still in the middle of it, figuring out how to live with this, how to not let it define me. It's harder than I ever imagined, and maybe that's what makes it so sad. I just hope that someday I'll look back and realize this didn't break me. But tonight, sitting here alone, it sure feels like it might.